Alright, round 2 of our Eldritch Moon rough drafts, and this is okay. A little slow, but we got a Dread Knight, which is one of our most powerful cards. Some card draw, and a Rise from the Grave, which may or may not be great. Getting back Dread Knight isn't horrible. Our best bet might be getting back something from our opponents. Ideally, we draw into a 2-drop in our first 2 turns. Alright, Forest for our opponent. And passes. 2-drop? 5-drop. Swamp Go. I mean, I don't mind Throttle. Throttle's a good card. My concern with this hand, though, is it just being straight up too slow. So we'll see how aggressive. Like, if they can play an aggressive Werewolf here on turn 2. And they can't. Alright, that helps. 2-drop. Come on, 2-drop. Any 2-drop. 4-drop. So, no true drops for us. At least our opponent did not play a 2-drop either. Still a little scared of our opponent slamming a Werewolf and flipping it because we don't have a way to cast things. But the power level of this hand is fairly high. What does our opponent have on turn 3? Hermit of Natternolls. Alright. That's kind of big, and we can't really deal with it. Hopefully we draw something to keep it from flipping. That would be ideal. 2-drop? 3-drop? Another 5-drop. Well, our hand is super overloaded with power, but we might just lose to these werewolves. Opponent gets a 3-5. Plays a land. Well, we can't play things on our opponent's turn, or they're going to draw 2 cards, so that is not part of our plan. Alright, down to 17. And a Survivalist. Land? Well, there's our 2-drop. Well, let's play our Spider past the turn. Well, we kind of got the worst of both worlds now. We didn't draw a 2-drop, and we didn't draw a 5th land to play our 5-drops. So we are just kind of losing on all ends. And our opponent gets to kill our Spider. Get in for 7. So we are kind of close to just dying here, unfortunately. And our opponent drew a 3-drop as well. Oh my god. Our opponent's Werewolf does flip. We do draw a land. How much does it help, though? So many 5-drops. Well, it looks like the fear of this hand being too slow is coming true. So we get to throttle that thing. But we're still taking 5, which is a ton. And if our opponent can keep playing things, which is probably likely, we're in even more trouble. Alright, our opponent gets in for 5. We're down to 5. And they have a follow-up, so now they have multiple lethal threats, and that is... I mean, I guess it's not the game, but it's pretty close to the game. Morn Willow, Hinterland Logger, pass the turn. So we're on the block, hope our opponent is on blank's plan. And even that isn't a great plan. Pretty much expecting to be dead. Opponent attacks with everything. We block. Drop to 2. Opponent passes. How do we get out of this? We can reanimate something. I'd rather reanimate the lifelinker. I mean, we can reanimate this thing and try to trade. Maybe that's our best bet. The other plan is Uvenwald Captives, chump, and sack to Merciless Resolve, and hope we draw into something. I think our best chance of living is just to Rise from the Grave, that backwoods Survivalist. If our opponent doesn't have anything, it can trade with the lifelinker, and maybe we can get back in the game. Our opponent had a flash threat. Alright. Well, Our hand was just way too clunky in that game, unfortunately. We kept a hand that was full of 5-drops. We have a million 2-drops, a lot of 3-drops, but our hand was 1, 2, 3, 4, 100% of our 5-drops, which is just kind of unfortunate. I guess the other side of the story is there's an argument probably that I should have just mulliganed, and that was a problem, so we are cursed. We are cursed. Again, a lot of 5-drops. We do have a removal spell. I think we got a mulligan this time. Alright, at least we are not mono 5-drops, and we even get a 2-drop. So I feel a little better about this hand. At least we have some semblance of a curve, which was our big problem last game. Now we can draw into our 5-drops as the game goes along. Plains for our opponent. Actually, the shoe could be on the other foot now. We get the Hinterland Harbor. Or Logger, rather. Harbor is the land from the original Innistrad. So now if our opponent doesn't have a 2-drop, we get to flip into a 4-2 and go on the beatdowns. Forest for our opponent. Alright, they do have a 2-drop. Let's see what we draw. Relentless Dead that we can't cast. Let's just play Gaia Reach Sanitarium, pass the turn. Our Logger flips into a 4-2 with Trample. Forest for our opponent. Ooh, alright. Well, they pump up their Steadfast Cathar, but it still dies to Deadweight. So they get in for 3. But we are going to loot with Gaia Reach because we want to hit a land here, if we can help it. We do get the land. What do we discard? It might just be Relentless Dead. The only nice thing is Relentless Dead is pretty powerful in the late game. We could also just pitch Haunted Dead, although I like to actually just cast Haunted Dead. Alright, we'll pitch Relentless Dead. Well, unfortunately, I think we just need to kill that thing. Get in for 4. Play another forest and pass the turn. So it's a decent little 2-for-1 with our Deadweight. Also gets us closer to Delirium. Ironclad Slayer for our opponent. Oh, they get to get an aura back and equip it? Okay. That's annoying. Oh, wait. What? Well, they get to return it to their hand, I see. Do we want to loot? I think we do not loot here. Well, let's play the land. Play Haunted Dead. Gets us a 1-1. And then just fight the Ironclad Slayer. And get in for 4. How many card types do we have? We have 3. So we are a land away from Delirium for our Survivalists. Our Timber Shredder does flip back around. And our opponent not only scoops it up, but they reveal their hand, which is actually nice of them. Survivalists, so they are heavily on the aura theme. Alright, so thanks to our opponent showing us their hand, we should look and see. I don't think we actually really got any artifact or enchantment removal, but it would be good if we had it. I guess the good news is we have a lot of just unconditional removal, so we can just straight up kill things, which is nice. So I think we'll just keep it like this and head into game 3. Alright, let's run it back. Come on, good hand. So I think if we draw a lot of removal, we're probably favored in this matchup. Well, we have a lot of removal, but no black mana. I think we keep it, though. I think this hand can win, and we hopefully will be able to draw into black mana. And our opponent's going to 5, which is also in our favor. And that is a swamp. So now we have a ton of removal and a Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Opponent passes. Wouldn't mind just a 2-drop. The Werewolf would probably be the best. The mana Dork Werewolf. Abundant Maw, kind of on the other end of the scale. That's okay, though. Good finisher. So because our opponent mulliganed, we should have a good shot of just 1-for-1ing them to death. Alright, there's Ironclad Slayer. Let's just play the swamp, and let's just kill this thing before they get to start enchanting it. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. There's a question over whether we should loot. We might have to, though. We'll see what our opponent does. Alright, they make their land drop, which makes me think we should start looting to improve our hand. Alright, the lifelinker. Well, let's loot, discard a land. I think it's worth it here. It's a decent way to undo a mulligan. If we kill it, they can turn it into spirits. Also, looting probably doesn't hurt our opponent that much, but I think we need to for our sake. Well, I guess we just discard the forest. Haunted Dead was a good draw. Play the Haunted Dead. Get a spirit. Get a 2/2. Play a forest and pass the turn. Our opponent discarded, what, a 4-drop? Double green 4-drop. Alright, Thalia's Lieutenant pumps up the Chaplain. Alright. Question is, do we chump here? Let's not chump. We'll take 6. Our opponent gains 6. We're probably just going to Ruthless Disposal. Actually, we might not even have to. I guess we can just throttle it. That might even just be better. Then our opponent still has Thalia's Lieutenant, but we still have Ruthless Disposal. A Mornwelk. Yeah, let's just throttle that thing. Get in for 1. Do we even want to play a land? Yeah, I guess we will. Play the land, pass the turn. We do want things left in our hand to discard. Alright, opponent plays a priest, pumps up the Thalia's Lieutenant. And gets a couple of spirits. No attacks. Do we just want to kill these things, or do we wait one more turn? Well, let's play Mornwillow. Do some attacking. The other thing about Gaia Reach Sanitarium is if we can get our opponent empty-handed, then looting doesn't help them. And they're down to 1 card, why it theoretically helps us. Also, we have card draw we can draw into. Our opponent likely does not, being white-green. Alright, we put our opponent down to 20. Then let's just emerge, sacking our Haunted Dead. Drain for 3, gain 3, both at 17. We get the Abundant Maw and just pass the turn. Alright, there's the Lifelinker. Pumps up Thalia's Lieutenant. No attacks. Ooh, and a Rise from the Grave. That's a sweet draw. I think we just need to Ruthless Disposal. Kill that. Do we want to kill the priest or the Thalia's Lieutenant? Yeah, let's just kill the Lieutenant. Sack our Spirit token. Discard a forest. Swing with both. Put our opponent down to 8. Now they're going to have to start using a mana each turn for this priest, I think, to keep our Abundant Maw in check, unless they have something else to deal with it. Hermit of Natternolls, alright. Not too painful. Opponent gets in with their spirits. Sure. We get a Fen Creeper. Well, let's go to attack, see what our opponent does. Taps down our Abundant Maw. We're going to attack with our Morn Willow. Opponent takes it. Do we want to reanimate something? We can get back the Haunted Dead. Gets us a spirit. The best bet might be to just get back the Lifelinker. Other option is this Tangleclaw Wolf. And we can flip it. Is that better than the Lifelinker? The other thing about the Lifelinker, it's a human, so they can't tap it. Let's just do that. Get back Faithbearer Paladin. And pass the turn. What's our opponent going to do? Probably pass and get in with one spirit. If they pass and flip this thing, then they have a blocker. Yep. What do we draw? Another removal spell would be fine. We draw a forest. Well, let's go to combat, see what our opponent does. Alright, taps down the Maw. Yeah, let's just pass the turn. We can get back our Haunted Dead. Opponent plays a land. Steadfast Cathar. Attacks with one spirit. Okay. Let's get back our Haunted Dead. Pitch Fen Creeper and a forest. Get a spirit. We draw a swamp. Go to combat. Alright. Taps down some stuff. Let's just attack with everything, see what our opponent does. Then kill like our Morn Willow. Blocks the Paladin. Blocks the Morn Willow. Double blocks the Paladin. Alright, that's fine. Well, we kill a spirit. Gain a bit of life. Put our opponent down to 2. Then let's just play Call the Bloodline, just in case. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a land. Ooh, alright. Plays Subjugator Angel. Taps down all of our stuff, which was already tapped. But now we get to start looting for free, which is pretty nice, because they just draw and discard immediately, but we don't. I guess we discard the Swamp. Untap. Alright, let's loot again while we got free reign. Discard a Swamp. Go to combat. Taps down our Maw. Alright. We get a Relentless Dead. And pass the turn. We could use a removal spell. Opponent goes with Prey Upon. Fight our Relentless Dead. That doesn't do all that much. We just pay 1 and get back our Relentless Dead. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright, we are through to the finals of our Eldritch Moon Rough Drafts. Sweet!